Thanks for checking out my micro drawings channel. That clear acrylic display you saw at the beginning is something I'll show you at the end of the video here too. Thought I'd show my setup. There's the arm that holds my phone while I'm videotaping. And there's my Copic multiliner 0.03. And reason for showing you this, a lot of times people ask, how do you do that? What tools do you use? So I thought I'd share them. This is the Copic sketch marker. There's two ends to it, a fine point and a chisel point. I'll show that a little later in the video. There's the paper I use, a Canson Bristol Smooth 100 weight. It's acid free. And it works pretty well. There's a couple cut pieces that I cut ahead of time. And there's a note card. Originally I started drawing my micro drawings on a little note card like you'd buy at any big box store. And there's definitely a difference in papers. The smoothness or the tooth of the paper, the, I don't know if it'd be called absorbability, but how much stuff soaks into it and bleeds. And I thought I'd show that to you. So here I'm going to draw two little circles, and I'll zoom in a little bit here. But on the left is that Canson paper. On the right is a regular note card. And there's that broad chisel point that I do not use, way too big for the work I'm doing. There's the fine tip that I do use. So I'm just going to touch it to the paper and leave it. There you can see a zoom in. And then I'll do the same thing on the regular note card. And you can see with the Canson paper, it just stays right where I was touching. But then with the regular note card, you can see it bleed out, and especially when I zoom back out, you can see the difference in the size there. So with that regular note card, you really have to be careful. So if someone's going to try to do some micro drawings of their own, I'd recommend to get the better paper. All right, so I better get to today's drawing here. It's going to be Linus, writing his letter to the great pumpkin. I usually start with a facial feature. In this case, I'm starting with his nose and his eyes, eyebrows. And the reason I start with this part of a drawing is because if you screw up the face, it's really noticeable. So you might as well start with that and get it out of the way. In this video, I'm not sharing all the outtakes, but a lot of times I'll screw up the face, so I'll restart, throw it away, restart, and repeat. But in this case, worked out pretty well with Linus. And I don't add his hair here till the end, but that's kind of what makes or breaks him. In addition to the facial features. But so there's his little arms, little hands, and his little teeny pencil. There's the envelope he's going to put the letter into the great pumpkin, and those couple last lines there were the the edge of the table. So there goes Linus's hair, getting that on there, and that makes it look a lot more like Linus. And they're just writing the Dear Great Pumpkin across the top. So there you can see the quarter covers up the whole picture. And next I'll move on to the Copic sketch markers. And there's the Cotton Pearl going on for skin tone. And then I'll work around, I work right up to the line. This paper doesn't allow much bleeding, so it's great for controlling the color on these types of small micro drawings. If you haven't, please consider subscribing and sharing the video. And I'll let you watch here for a bit. All right, so pretty much done. Just putting on today's date, the 3rd of October of 2020. And then next I'll show you the process that I use to take it from this to being inside that acrylic case that you saw at the beginning of the video. But there's the quarter for scale first. All right, so here's a couple other micro drawings I've done in this little clear acrylic case. They're 2 by 3 inches, but obviously I got to cut the paper down. So I take the paper, and there's some tag board just to put under so I don't cut up the table. I take the acrylic display apart and then set the top on it so I can get it centered as I want it. And then I'll take this little box knife or utility knife and score the edges. And then sometimes I have to do a little trimming up to make it fit right, but it doesn't take too much to do it. Just want to cut it to size so it doesn't stick out the edges of that acrylic. So there, I'm setting it in there, snapping the top on. It's 4 magnets that hold it together with this size. And there it is. So again, thanks for checking out the channel. Have a great day.